Manifestation requires sacrifice. And to manifest anything in this world, you need to make sacrifice. You need to sacrifice yourself. But then you're wondering, how am I going to sacrifice myself to manifest what I want? Today, I'm going to show you a part of you that you need to sacrifice in order to manifest the desire you want. Now, understand that imagination creates your reality, and that is the first concept I would want you to understand, and always work with this concept in your day-to-day activity, because if you do, it's literally going to change your life for the better. Imagination creates your reality, and your thoughts, it's the only thing that matters. Your thoughts about you is the only thing that matters. And also understand that when you think a thought, you send signal to the things that are related to those thoughts. And when you constantly give attention to those thoughts, it brings those things, the physical things that are in line with those thoughts, to your reality. So now, how can you sacrifice yourself in order to manifest what you want? What sacrifice am I talking about here? Well, the sacrifice I'm talking about is your old self. Now, nature does not like vacuum. Nature abhors vacuum. The reason why what you are looking for has not manifested is because your old self is getting in the way. Now, you need to remove your old self, you need to crush it and then sacrifice it, so that you can now bring in the new you, the desire that you want. Now, how do you do it? The first thing first is you need to choose the area of your life that you would love to actually manifest new things. It could be your finance, it could be a relationship, it could be your spirituality, it could be anything in this world. Remember, and again, it's a concept that you need to understand, that anything is possible. So you choose exactly what you want to actually bring into your physical reality. The first step to solving a problem is to identify that problem. Now, once you have identified the part of you that you don't want, now the next thing is to look at what are the thoughts that you're thinking in that line. What are those thoughts? Like I said, your thoughts actually create your reality. Your thoughts gets into your mind, and then you start imagining them. As you start imagining them, they over time become a reality. Now, when you think a thought, on the first time you think that thought, it has no power at all. It's not going to do anything. But as you think this thought and then you start giving it attention, you are simply fertilizing those thoughts. And as you fertilize those thoughts, as you rehearse it day by day, that's how you're fertilizing it. And that's how they're maturing. And when it gets to full maturation, it becomes a reality in your world. So now, identify the thoughts in the area that you don't like. It could be your finance, again, it could be your relationship or whatever. So let's take the example here in terms of finance. If you are broke at the moment, the physical reality is telling you that you're broke, and then you are constantly thinking in that line. Now the next thing is to simply identify what you're thinking. Are you thinking that you're broke? Are you letting the physical reality dictate your thoughts? Now the next thing is, I would say, simply write down the thoughts you are thinking. You need to really get hold of that particular thoughts. Get hold of those thoughts. When you get hold of those thoughts, it will be easier to crush them. Don't worry, I will share with you how to crush those thoughts and then usher in new thought pattern, new thinking patterns, so that they would not become your reality over time. Now, identify those negative thoughts or those thoughts of being broke that you are thinking. So if you are, for example, you are living in an environment that doesn't look rich, and it's not allowing you to think, being broke, being financially burdened, hardship, and the rest. The next thing is write them down. Please write them down. Very important. Now, when you write this thought down, the next thing you want to do is what are the opposite of the thoughts that you are thinking? For example, you are thinking of being broke. What is the opposite? The opposite of abundance, financial freedom, success. That's the opposite, right? Now, write down those thoughts also. Now, you have written down the thoughts that you don't want, that you are currently thinking, that are actually are making things hard for you, bringing themselves into your reality, into your physical world. Now, you have now also identified the thoughts that you need to think that will bring in the things you want in your physical reality. The next thing you want to do, instantly start switch your thoughts. So instead of thinking of being broke, of hardship, you ignore your physical reality, ignore your current state, okay, your current status or your current situation, ignore it, blatantly ignore it, and then switch your thought to the opposite. Switch your thought, in this case, to abundance, to financial freedom, to success. Just switch your thought, mentally switch it. This is a mental thing. You don't have anything physical to do here. It's all in your mind. And that's why I said you need to work with this concept of your imagination creating your reality. Work with that concept, believe that concept, because if you believe it, you have literally gotten the solution to any problem you might face in life. When I understood this concept by listening to Neville Goddard, and by the way, I listen to Neville Goddard on a daily basis. I listen to his teachings, to his lectures on a daily basis. And it literally changed my life. It literally changed my life. I usually tell my wife that I can get myself out of any problem that I find myself. I tell people also, people who care to listen, that today, if I find myself in any problem, I can literally get myself out of it without worrying how to go about it. I won't even bother of thinking of any solution. All I need to do is just switch my mind to the opposite of what I want, to the opposite of what's happening to me at the moment, and I just give it time. Now, once you have switched your thoughts from what is happening to you to what you want to happen, by thinking the opposite. So in this case, again, for example, thinking of abundance, thinking of financial freedom, success, business success, and success in all aspects of your life. Now, once you have switched your thought, the next thing very important that you need to do is you need to persevere. You need to be consistent. Give it attention. Now, you brought your physical reality, your current reality, you brought it as a result of constantly imagining and thinking in that line. That's how you brought it to be. So if you are enjoying your relationship today, you brought it into being by constantly imagining that you are actually in the right relationship, in profitable relationship. Now, you need to give attention to the new you. Remember, you have now sacrificed the old you, the old thoughts. And by the way, the thoughts you have are exactly who you are. But of course, you can change you. You can change you by changing your thoughts. Now that you have sacrificed the old thought and you have ushered in the new thought, please give it attention. Persevere. Because when you give it attention, you are simply fertilizing it. And of course, just like the Bible says that there is time for everything, and everything actually comes and happens in due time. Don't worry, don't rush the process. Don't worry about when and how it's going to happen. Your problem is not how and when it's going to happen. The only problem is sacrifice the old self, replace it with the new you, and then allow the new you to manifest in due season. And then you begin to ask, what about my current situation? How am I going to survive? But let me tell you, once you have sacrificed the old self and then you bring in the new you and you give it intensity, and that's another thing, you actually give it intensity and you are serious about the old thought that you have ushered in no distant time, things are going to start changing for you. Sometimes it might not happen so big at first, but if you give it intensity, if you give these thoughts attention and then intensity means you are actually like you allow yourself. Now, my brother will call it loyalty to the unseen reality. Loyalty, that you are loyal to the new thoughts. You are simply loyal to it. In other words, you have abandoned yourself to it. Trust me, in no distant time, you are going to start seeing your physical reality adjust itself to the current thoughts that you are having. So your only job here is to give your thoughts attention and then intensity. Give it attention and then give it intensity. In other words, abandon yourself to it. They call it reckless abandon. Just abandon yourself, because that is the only reality that's going to happen. And trust me, it is going to be the only reality you would experience in no distant time. Now, another way you can also make this possible is by doing daily visualization. So every morning, every night before you fall asleep, you want to make sure that you are only thinking thought of success. And then you close your eyes, you imagine what you would experience if what you want is already happening. What are you going to experience? Who are you going to associate with? What are you going to hear? How can people, how are people going to see you? So you start saying that in your mind every morning when you wake up, and then at night before you go to bed, you assume this feeling and then imagine it. And remember, give it attention and then give it intensity, high intensity. In no distant time, your reality will change. It will adjust itself to what you are currently thinking. Okay, guys, so that's exactly how you can sacrifice yourself to get what you want. And like I said, all of these things are mental. They're all in your mind, your imagination. Control it. Only think the things you want. I don't allow myself to dwell on a thought that I don't want for more than a minute. I don't. And once I catch myself, instantly I break the cord and I switch over to the things that I want. And that's why I hardly get problems in life. Well, I can say that I hardly get problems in life. I hardly, and that's because I hardly dwell on the things that I don't want. I hardly dwell on those things. Okay, guys, this is Manifest with Justice, and what I do here is share with you my experiences and how you can be able to manifest. I also share Navragoda's teachings, methods, and exercises. And trust me, these things work if only you give it attention and you give it intensity. So if you want stuff like this and you got value from this video, I would ask you to like it, okay? Just hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well with your bell notification turned on. You might as well share with other people because it might also help them, which I know it will help them. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.